Owie. Do you see these bags under my eyes, bruh? Because I just woke up. Call this early morning awkwardness. What's up, everybody? Today, I'm here with another video, and we're going to talk about sadness. That's right, I don't want to see one smile while watching this video. Judging by if my comedy is on or off today, you might not have to worry about that. And I'm really reaching deep in the bag of vocabulary for this one. Sad isn't bad. My high school English teachers would be so proud of me. But sometimes it's the simplest of statements that really convey the point you're trying to make. And this one's pretty simple. Sad isn't bad. And you may be thinking, okay, what narrative am I pushing back on? This one may seem self-evident to some people. Well, I say just go around, start telling people that you're sad when you are, and see how people react to you. There's a lot of ways that people may react when you tell them that you're sad. They could be empathetic. They could just get really awkward. They could just break down and start crying. You never know. Some people, the empathetic criers in the room. And of course that changes things. And I think it's because when you start to walk around telling people you're sad, they automatically start to feel like they have to take your burden on them. Which is a learned behavior because there's a lot of people who expect that kind of reaction. But I don't understand why it can't be normalized just to be able to talk about sadness openly and not expect someone to be able to fix you. Or not expect to be able to fix others. Hey you, stop trying to fix other people in that. What I've learned in talking with a lot of people when they're really sad is that I don't really feel a burden to fix them anymore because I don't expect to be able to fix them in the first place. What I can do is I can sit with them, and if they let me, I can ask and be let into their burdens. I can bear burdens with them. And that's a good thing, but that's never something that should be expected of people, and it's not something that you always have to expect of yourself. So if the conversation goes something like, "How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm actually a little bit sad." The response then could be, "Can I help you with that in any way?" And if the answer is no, then it's like, "Hey, well, I'm sorry to hear that, and I'm here for you if you need me." One way that I've found to make sad people a lot more sad is to treat them as an outcast or treat them completely differently because of the emotions they may be feeling. And that's the thing. Sadness, at the core of it, is just another emotion, another reaction to things that are happening externally. This is the first time I'll say this little quip. Sadness isn't a bad thing. That doesn't mean you should stay there. Sadness isn't something that you're meant to just prolong the effects of or attempt to just stay in one place in one emotion. But guess what else? You're not meant to stay in happiness either. That might be a newsflash to some people more than others, but good grief. If happiness is the end goal for you, you're gonna be very disappointed. I mean, there is technically a way that you can just stay happy all the time. We call those sociopaths. Okay, that was a bit of a burn. But for real, anytime you stay in one emotion, of course it's not good. Think of if I were just to eat cheeseburgers all the time, which some weeks, let's be honest. I'd be consuming too much of one thing, and therefore my body would feel like crap because of it. And my output, how I interact with people, would be crappy. Man, it's the exact same thing with sadness, with happiness, with any other emotion you can name. Don't stay there, but don't push the sad thoughts away either. Pushing sad thoughts away is just as bad as being sad in the first place. And it only makes you more sad to do that. Fake happiness is not happiness at all. Let me say it again. Fake happiness is not happiness at all. And this conversation starts to reframe the questions that we ask when we get sad. We always seem to end up at the points where we're like, why am I sad? Why is this happening to me? When we start to recognize that sadness is just one of these emotions, one of these seasons that we go through, it can start to make a little more sense. And those are good questions, but we have to ask them of ourselves, and we have to learn what we can from our sadness. I've learned that the sadness has to be used for something. How are you going to use your sadness? Are you going to create more? Or are you going to let it bring you down more? Or worse yet, are you going to repeat the same pattern that brought you into that sadness in the first place? Those questions are getting at the fact that sadness is only a piece of a large puzzle that is incomplete. So we would be wise to take it slow and then to learn to trust some other people, not everyone, but a select group of people with walking through the sadness and learning from it. Now again, I'll take time to address the opposite crowd of this conversation that tries to hold on and possess sadness for too long because it gives us something to feel. You've got to trust that there are other seasons in your life. You got to let that go. I know that's easier said than done. Just stop being sad. Just gonna raise this up. Yep, every time. If you start to deconstruct, why am I feeling sad? And you come to the conclusion of, oh, I think I put myself in this situation, which is an honest answer, good answer. It's the only way we get through things. But if you find yourself answering like that, hey, let's do something about it. Let's move out, and let's move out with other people. Because just like I mentioned, just as good as we can learn from sadness and heal from our sadness even, we can also get addicted to and overconsume sadness, which is just as bad as ignoring it. What I'm proposing is we need to live in it, learn from it, and learn that, hey, we don't have to assume the role of fixing other people when they tell us that we're sad. Now I'll just address the church in general. Hey, we're living in sad times. And the answer to these sad times is not to just rush people out of their sadness, to treat sadness like some sort of sickness, like, hey, get over it, please. The answer is Jesus. And Jesus sits with them in their sadness. We have the answer, church. Are we using it?
Is this on? Hi.
Mm-hmm. How'd you get the little people in there? How did you get the little people in there, Kyle?
Are you gonna act some sadness? Oh, can you fake cry? You might have to crouch down a little bit. Hey, Mike, you're too tall. Too tall, Mike. This is such emotional lighting. This is dramatic lighting.
Okay, that's it.
I can't. So yeah, sad isn't bad. It's something we can learn from. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you can keep your good vibes only shirt, because all vibes are welcome here. Sad isn't bad, so let's stop treating it like it is.